All right, my friends, we are back. We are moving into the final segment of tonight's episode. It's going to be a little bit short, partially because we ran a little bit long in the second part, but also because, given how much time we have left, I'm going to have to basically truncate things. I think that's the first time I actually used that word out loud. Anyway, so quick little recap. The giant is dead. Coup de grace by Sir Everhart. But most of the damage, I believe, was done by Sir Dallin, with a fair amount of contribution by Sir Farvel and his squire.
I literally poked it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or bow, and found out it did nothing.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, I missed, and my squire.
No, you hit
the.
Well, yeah. Ultimately, the arrows didn't really do a whole hell of a lot in the grand scheme of things. It might have nickeled and dimed him at best. The giant's dead. Sir Farvel and Sir Everhart had a brief scrap, but Sir Everhart has come to his senses. As you guys are basically reconsolidating, you hear a goat bleating, and accompanying the goat is the old man that sent you on this perilous little quest in the first place.
Oh boy.
He is coming up the hill, laughing and cheering. As he gets close enough to, effectively be within arm's reach or something like that, there is a wavering cloud of fog and smoke that surrounds him for a moment. And once the wind carries all that away, and this only takes a few seconds,
Frickin' Merlin.
It's Merlin the Magician. He is in what you could probably be, or what one could consider to be your stereotypical wizardly robes. His goat herder's staff has now become an ornate wizardly staff made out of shapened oak, the head of which has a green gem held in place by said oak shapings. And he says, I think you guys will do just fine for what I need. Come, leave your horses with your squires. I have need of guards against monsters.
What?
I'm gonna say, did you summon this creature?
Come on now. I have no time for inquisitions. Time is fleeting. No, I did not summon this thing. I really needed my goat back. Please, come.
Okay.
He leads you from the hill, and as you guys progress, and I want to remind you, let me ask this. So he says to leave your horses behind with your squires. His intentions are for you to follow on foot.
I tell my squire to go back to wherever we're garrisoned and tell them that we met whoever. What's his name?
Merlin. This is the Merlin.
Yeah. All right, tell them that we're on a quest for Merlin
now. Your squire.
He said you three, did he not?
Yes, he means for the knights to come alone.
Okay, just clarifying.
Yep. Your squire, though, Sir Farvel, kind of gives you a quizzical look, and he's like, you want us to go back to Winterborn Gunnet? To Sarum? Maybe remain here?
to wherever we were garrisoned.
Were we stationed anywhere while we were doing
patrol?
Or
so your patrol, your patrol would have been based out of Sarum. So basically what would happen is all of the knights would meet in Sarum, the ones that are going on patrol, get briefed by the Earl, and maybe say the previous patrol in case there was anything that needed to be passed along, like, hey, there's a fence over here that was busted up, keep an eye on it, stuff like that. And then you would head out on patrol, and then you would come back to Sarum to debrief, essentially, with the Earl and whoever the next patrol would be.
So I would second it if he didn't say it specifically, and tell my squire that to try to get an audience with the Earl and inform them that we have been seconded to Merlin.
Okay.
And I did not feel it was best to snub the right hand of the king.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, yeah. Sir Dallin, any deviances from that?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
I'll gather my sword and my axe, but I'm probably leaving my lance with my horse.
Yeah, because you're on foot, so having the lance is a bit cumbersome. Go ahead.
Does the giant seem to have any other possessions than the head he's lost and his trunk weapon?
Speaking of the giant's head, who has the head?
I just
My
looked at.
squire.
Oh, your
yeah.
Dallin Squire has it?
Is holding on to it. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's nothing really of note. This giant is almost as though he appears on the screen.
Okay.
That, this ragged cloak, not even a cloak, just this loincloth and maybe something to cover part of his chest or something like that. He's got
I
no wealth.
jokingly asked Dallin why in the world would he want a three-eyed ogre head on a wall?
Why would you not? That's a conversation piece right there. That's my answer.
I
Let
believe
me-
that would go in the
I say
game
Farvel is a
room
man
where,
of
women are not permitted.
cleanliness and says that thing is ugly and disgusting.
I mean, once you render it down to just being a skull and putting it on a plaque on the wall, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Then someone will think it's just an elephant. No.
I'll have to take a screenshot of the image that's in the Great Pendragon campaign book. That image is actually kind of cool for the idea of this three-eyed giant. I really like the idea that the third eye is not at all symmetrical with the other two. Anyway, yeah, so Merlin leads you off. You come down the hill, and there's a forest nearby, and he leads you into the forest. I would like, and I will let you guys choose. You could choose to roll awareness or fairy lore. The results of the three of you will determine collectively what happens as far as what you pick up on as you enter this forest.
What am I rolling? Sorry.
You could choose to roll against your awareness or against fairy lore.
Well, I don't think I have any fairy.
I call awareness because mine's 15.
Yeah, by all means, go with the better option.
My dice rolled off the table. I rolled
But you got a 4,
18.
so that's 2 successes.
I re-roll.
No, you succeeded. You don't need to reroll.
Okay.
You're rolling. Yeah. All right. Yeah, all three of you succeed. So yeah, obviously.
Oh wait, I did succeed.
Yeah.
With, 18.
This forest.
Just awareness for me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, this forest. Like as soon as you enter it, there is this eerie calmness to it. It's not like all the birds suddenly stop chirping. You can't hear anything but the sounds that you yourselves are making. But it's definitely there's this feeling of calm. The green is a little bit more vibrant. All the colors are a little bit more vibrant, and it just feels strange. There's a little bit of like a highlight cast upon it, I suppose. Merlin is continuing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like glowy highlight.
Kind of glowy, but not like obvious glowy like you would see in some movies or TV shows.
Like maybe a faint shimmering.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Just painting a picture in my head.
Yep. Yeah. This is just a little small, almost a game trail. Is probably about as well developed as this track is that you're on into the forest. The forest around you is definitely got that highlight, some vibrance to the colors, and that just this weird feeling of overall calmness about the place. You continue to follow Merlin deeper into the forest until you come upon up ahead. You could see the shores of a small lake, and suddenly Merlin stops and points with his staff, and he says, "There! Protect me now, good knights, for the sake of your king and your lives." Out of the brush nearby comes a man upon a horse carrying 2 swords. Both man and horse are the same slimy dark green color, and this horse seems impossibly nimble as it moves through the trees charging towards you guys.
Oh boy. Alright, I knock an arrow, I guess.
Okay.
I'm same order as before.
Well, so here's my question. I cannot guarantee this combat will end quickly, so we have one of 2 options. We do a very abbreviated and very narrative-based combat, or we hold this for next week.
I say we go for it and finish it.
Okay.
Because now you piqued my interest.
Of course I did.
I would rather have the full fight.
Yeah, I mean, still full fight. Go full fight. if
You want to
everyone
go?
has
Do you?
time.
Okay. I mean, because this could be like if you look at that last fight. The fight itself took probably about a half hour, give or take.
Yep.
Because
I am
you guys.
good as long as everyone else is good, I guess.
Okay. So that goes to Sir Dallin, or rather Rodance, because she is the one that is on the other side of the country.
Yeah. If it's like a half hour, 45 minutes, I'm good.
Okay. Alrighty.
Given that this is a night with some special things, is this going to take longer than the giant fight? Do you think?
I don't
as a
think
guess.
it will.
Well,
But I
mean,
can't-
We killed the giant with 43 damage and 1 attack, so I'm feeling like. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you. Oh shoot! I meant to. Hold on. I gotta. Hold on. Shit! I
'Cause-
deleted that guy. God damn it! All right. Well, he'll be there.
Narratively,
Uh huh.
and this is just me thinking aloud to the group and stating my opinion. We don't have to go with it. I want to have the full fight,
Mhm.
but I also know that it could take more than 30 minutes, and I'm
Yeah,
aware of people's time constraint.
We should be good.
Okay.
All
I
right.
was saying
So
we have the option of like taking our combat poses and like giving a nice TV cliffhanger ending to the episode.
I mean, that's kind of where I was wanting to go, but I'm okay with any answer.
Okay.
So we could essentially
I
we could do
am
the full fight. We could do it abbreviated. We just make a couple of dice rolls for narrative reasons, or we can hold it for next week. And if you guys are good with going the full fight, we can do that.
Yep.
Now we're horseless, right? Just to
Correct.
confirm, even though
Yeah,
we're-
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have dismounted figurines for you guys. It's a work in progress. So yeah, so this
Well,
is
let
not
me
a.
just open the drawer and look for something.
I mean, there's probably some in there, but let's not open the drawer because what may happen. But yeah, so we have this. I know this is not a good representation, and I apologize. There's a reason why I chose something like this, but just bear with me. For the moment, what you know is you are fighting a man on horseback, and he has a sword in each hand. I said he's charging, but it's simply he's moving forward rapidly.
Does he,
go ahead.
does he appear to be going for Merlin or just past us?
He's currently charging you. Merlin has managed to essentially disengage and is now moving towards the water.
Interesting. All right. I knock an arrow immediately, as I said, so I'm ready.
All right, make your bow attack.
Why do I go first?
Oh no, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry, Sir. Sir Everhart, you are up, sir. You have
I
2
am-
rerolls remaining, by the way.
Well, I would like to call on my honor because I want to regain from whatever that was earlier, even if it risks a failure.
boy.
I will allow that. I will allow that. I think that's definitely pertinent. You had a something of a mishap earlier, and now Merlin has basically said, "For king and country, please defend me," and you are trying to redeem yourself. So yeah, honor is definitely a valid option here. I'll allow that. That is a success. So to verify, I'm going to look at the board here. On a success, you are inspired. You gain an experience check in honor if you didn't already have one, and you have a +10 modifier on combat. I need a 1d6 real fast.
I was gonna say we can't just bump that back up to 15. But anyway,
Rev, what's your character's? It's red, right?
yes.
Okay, so let's make this a red 1d6. Apply, and then scale it up. And go ahead and roll that red die right there for me one time. Just smack R twice.
Oh, my bad. I rolled a 5.
Roll. Could you roll again? Just because it only spun on one axis. So if you mouse over it and roll and hit R like 2 or 3 times, that works. I'll take that. I'm not gonna sit here and argue.
You know, you could just make him drag it and toss it in the dice tower, right?
Oh yes, yeah,
That's a thing.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
dice tower.
yeah. That's what that's supposed to be. So I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna do it one time because I want to do it. Oh, it's too big. Shit.
It's still a 5.
Let me scale it down so it'll fit. There it goes.
Or you could have scaled the dice tower.
I could have, yeah. I'll let Rev do it though. So Rev, go ahead and drop it in the tower real quick.
I just want to keep a 5.
I know. Oh no, it's almost a 5 too. All right, I'm gonna scale it back up. In the meantime, Rev, please make
Cocked, it
your
was cocked.
huh?
That's a term for when the dice isn't quite even, and it's.
Oh
something
yeah,
you
yeah,
try and sneak a reroll.
yeah.
But
Go ahead and make your 1d. Go ahead and make your. Would you say axe? Is that what you're doing?
sword.
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 Plus 10 to sword, please.
What I was doing, just for theater of the mind, I have my sword up in a reverse hand on my main hand,
Mm-hmm.
with my other hand up against the pommel, and I'm driving it toward the mount.
Okay.
To
I also
hopefully,
disengage a little bit while he's doing that, just a tiny bit.
Are you trying to
To-
set up for a charge? Because you're not mounted.
I'm not mounted. I'm setting.
Oh,
up
you're
my
setting up
hero.
for-
I'm not
yep.
trying to fucking.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I get a +5 to my
Plus
sword
10.
roll, correct?
Plus 10.
Plus 10. Okay, so that's a 25.
I'm sorry. Hold on. What's your skill? Sword skill? 15?
15.
Yes. Yeah, you're rolling against a 25. You're going to add 5 to the actual roll, which I'm assuming is that 13 right there?
No, I haven't rolled yet.
Okay.
That 13 was the last roll. I just was confirming how this was going to work before I
Yep.
started throwing dice around.
Okay, that's a success. Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry. Stand by on that. I forgot I need to roll my sword of 16. Yeah, we're good. We can roll a 16. Let's get rid of that. Rolling against a 16. I rolled an 11, but you rolled a 9 plus 5?
You said 5 plus 5 or plus 10? You said both.
Well, it's so your sword skill is 15. Plus 10 makes it 25, which makes you add 5 to the actual roll.
I guess that'd be 14.
Correct, which means you get the success, and you may roll your damage dice, please.
And now since it wasn't a critical, do I get to add any extra damage dice to my?
Negative.
It's 5d6. It's
Yeah, it's just whatever your statistics or attributes say your damage is, which should be
Let me double
5d6.
check. I think it's 5d6. I just want to double check. But... Yeah, 5d6.
Mhm.
Just being thorough.
Mhm.
Omar, what's going on?
It rolled a 12. Did something else
No,
happen?
I meant the dice not going away.
Oh, that I have no idea. I honestly don't know what's going on with that.
Can we just chuck him off the side?
If you hit
Well, because
clear,
Oh.
Because a couple of my dice rolled one thing when they landed on the other dice, but then they rolled off. And in a real pen and paper game, if there was something else it bounced off of, it would be the final
oh
roll.
shit, I didn't want to do that. Fuck. I didn't mean to take away your dice pad. Sorry.
No.
Copy. Control V. There you go.
Was it something to do with resetting the table that may have messed with it?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. But some reason,
I can't clear it. It's not
yeah,
letting
I
me.
don't know why things aren't clearing either.
Alright,
like,
I'll
not
just
even
move
for
him to the
me.
Side, I guess.
Yeah.
So, am I rolling again, or are we sticking with what I rolled, even though...
I got a 12 on here, is what it showed, and his damage reduction is only 5, so that's still 7 points of damage. So he is now at.
Well, I rolled 3... technically, I rolled 3 ones, but when they fell off, they turned into higher numbers, and so I'm like, oh...
3, 8, 7. Yep. Okay.
Because they landed on the other d6, and that's what it counted, and then they continued to roll and change numbers.
Right. Sir Farvel, you are making a bow attack, correct?
Yes.
Are you invoking any passions?
Yeah. 1 second, I gotta check my passion, see what's left.
So I just check honor. I
Yes.
just check honor and don't get to... Okay.
I guess I would be. What's homage for, liege?
Homage, liege.
Homage.
Do you actually have a number next to it?
Yeah, 15.
Homage and fealty are similar, but not the same. The short version is your vassal knighthood is bestowed upon you by Sir Earl Roderick. He is your lord. Homage to another lord would be if you were lord of a manor outside of Salisbury. That manor would be controlled by another earl.
Got it.
Does that make sense where I'm going with that?
Yep.
I don't know what the mechanic is in the game, So I'm curious to understand because when I see homage, I think of one thing. That's basically how well you can kiss up in public.
I'd have to double check that. The way I've seen it played out before is when you have your fealty is to your lord, homage is to another lord that you have to answer to, but not necessarily as your
you can
lord.
pretend homage isn't on the sheet because looking at the base character sheet from the core book, it's not even there.
Yeah, that's fair too. That's why you probably shouldn't even have homage as a passion, because I don't believe it's one of the starting ones anyway.
Oh.
Without double
Well,
checking, I mean.
Did you go on fealty before? Have you used
Yeah,
that one?
Yeah,
I
he's used
that
fealty.
one.
You can use
So,
honor,
I'm
and
gonna,
I would
say
recommend
honor.
honor, really.
yeah. I'm
Does
gonna-
the guy on horseback look like a Saxon?
He
Oh,
looks like a generic knight on a horse.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Really a joke.
Or
That's a success. So that gives you, just to double check, inspired, and you gain a check in that passion.
Yay.
You now have a plus 10 on your attack roll with your bow, if I'm not mistaken. I also
Yes.
need standby, because I need to get another
Oh,
die out
why
for you.
is it
Hold on.
automatically? Sorry, no, I click honor to check mark it, but then it automatically check mark hospitality as well for some reason.
Sometimes those autofill things will do funky things. Once I color this die, I need you to drop it in the dice tower tiles.
No.
How come we can't just roll a normal d6?
It is a normal D6. I just colored
Yeah,
it for
but-
him.
I meant from our. Oh, that's right, because you've got to flip it.
No.
There you go. You have 2 rounds, including this one. I need to change revs too. I need to scale this up a bit.
Wait, wasn't it a 2 when I dropped it in there? What's this exactly?
Doesn't mine change to a 2 on my next turn?
Yeah, I'm changing it now because you've already made your turn.
All right. Now roll
yeah.
my bow.
Yep, make your attack roll with your bow. What's your bow skill?
10.
So add 10 to that, which is a 20, which means you won't miss.
Oh no, my bow's 16.
Okay, well now it's a 26. You add 6 to the actual roll. You still won't miss. 14.
14.
Success. Roll your bow damage, which is 3d6.
Just out of curiosity, Omar, I'm still kind of confused when you've got 2 ludicrous rolls. Let's say you're both in the 20-something.
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. I'm 8 minus.
How many Roy rolls do I got?
You have
We can
one.
discuss that off stream.
Yeah, you have 2 rolls remaining, but it's a new fight, so I can rescind the previous one about not allowing rerolls for damage. So if you want to reroll damage, you can, but you have 2 rerolls
come on.
remaining. It's a new fight. I feel like it's at least semi-fair.
Nah. I'll wait until the next turn around.
Okay.
So that... Yeah, let's
So now his damage or his health is a new number, which is that. Sir Dallin. Jesus. It is your go, my friend.
I'm looking at all this going.
Yeah. There is this
When
mounted
it
knight.
rains, it pours.
Yep. There's this mounted knight in your face. There's an arrow that sails overhead and does a little bit of damage. Sir Everhart has managed to smack it respectably.
Wait, did I do damage to it?
You did like 3 points of damage.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so, I'm just gonna go, basically walk up and flank it with my sword and attempt to smack it.
Alright, so if I move your piece over here, does that seem appropriate for you?
I'm gonna...
Okay. I can live with that.
attacking it directly from the front, I'm kind of coming from the side and back.
Okay. It will not make any change as far as the mechanics of the rolls, so go ahead and roll your 1d20, and I'm going to roll 1 as well.
What's your sword skill, just out of curiosity?
Who's? Oh. Okay, you rolled a 2. Oh, fucking Christ. Alright. You rolled
a 2 against my 10 sword skill.
Yeah, so I also succeeded. So you are going to take 5d6.
So, Rodance, just in case he hasn't explained it before in opposed rolls, lower is still a success, but on opposed roll, once you have 2 successes, the higher numbers still win.
Correct. Which I was getting ready to clarify. Additionally, so you do take damage, but because we both succeeded, you get to include your shield in the damage reduction. And it's 10 for the armor and 6 for the shield, so you're going to take a total of 4 damage.
Okay.
If I went too fast or you need me to re-explain something, please let me know.
Nope, I wrote it down on my sheet. 4 damage.
Okay, and remember also each individual attack or wound or whatever is a separate wound because of how first aid works. Okay. All right. In that case,
Ow.
yep.
Don't forget to, by the way, don't forget to flip Talus's die.
Oh, yes. Yes. No, thank you. All right. Sir Everhart.
I'm going again with my sword. I've still got 2 more rounds of Inspeared.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be plus 10 or plus 5?
Plus 10.
Okay.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. Your sword is what skill? It's 15, correct?
Yes.
So you would add 10 to that, which makes it 25. And because it goes 5 over 20, you add the 5 to your actual dice roll. So instead of rolling a 4, you've rolled a 9. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so now I'm going to roll my side, which is a total of 19. That is a failure?
Yeah, you said
Yes.
16
Yep.
with your sword?
Yep. I just had to double check. So go ahead and roll your damage, please.
Okay. 5d6.
For a total of 20, which is knockdown. Where's knockdown? No, knockdown. 25. Okay, good. And hold on. Sorry, I got distracted with a text message. 20 damage. Knockdown is 25. Not a problem. Reduce 5. That's 15. Ooh, that's a major wound. Shit. Okay, let me apply damage first. That's going to be... take it down to 18.
So he's dismounted at this point. Or the horse is knocked down.
One moment, please. No, he's not knocked down. Still standing. There's a major wound, and if I remember right, we had to roll... Damn, what was the pay? It was like 143 or something like that, wasn't it? For knockdown or major wounds?
141. Something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. That'll get me close enough anyway. To where I can find melee combat, regaining hit points. Ah, yes, here we go. Alright, character falls unconscious unless he makes a successful 1d20 roll against current hit points. The hit points are 18, so let me roll that first. Ooh, he is indeed knocked over. He has fallen unconscious. Yeah, no, he's unconscious. There's no way around that.
Score! We got it. Combat
Nice.
In 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, he's unconscious. I suppose one could just simply go up and do the obligatory throat slit.
Look, I feel like we just transition into RP because there's no stopping us from just walking up and throat slitting the dude.
Yeah, absolutely, there isn't.
If we wanted to.
Okay.
Now, black armor, you said? Did I hear that correctly?
Slimy green. However, let me back up just a smidge. Sorry, one second. Okay, so upon the knight and the horse falling over, you are able to notice that it is not a knight mounted on a horse.
Interjection.
Yes.
Could we just do a quick roll-off against each other to determine who slits the throat, just for giggles?
No, we may not even have a throat to slit. You need to wait.
Okay.
Okay, so let me... Oh, shit, where's... Oh, okay. Well, it's... Okay.
And we don't
Sorry.
have permission to kill him since we were directed to protect, not murder.
Well, I will pose this to you. Whatever it is that you were fighting, it is currently unconscious. It is leaving this like slimy pool of green algae almost on the ground. It is not bleeding red. I will tell you that right now. It is bleeding something more akin to slimy pond water.
I just look at Merlin going, this is
Okay.
his problem.
Merlin
I
is
was
not in
going-
sight right now.
I'm going to shout into the trees, Merlin, do you want us alive or dead?
There is no response. If you
Oh.
like, if you want to take a moment to see if you can identify where he ran off to, you may make an awareness roll.
I was gonna say, can I use my hunting roll? But is he floating around
I,
to
Uh,
like try to track him?
if I'm not getting a response from Merlin, I'm not leaving a threat at my back.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
I'm approaching the green slime armor
Mm-hmm.
for the coup de grace, as it were.
Okay,
I'm pulling out I'm assuming my poniard to stab between the armor.
sure. It's dead. You have killed it.
No physical change, it just simply says
So-
pond water.
As it dies, the pond water, slimy, scummy blood pours out, as one might expect for slicing somebody's throat. The thing slowly melts away, and after a few seconds, leaves only a pile of disgusting green slime looking much like algae on a pond.
So no armor left behind.
Yeah, this whole thing's basically faded away.
Okay.
This is like illy pond water scummy stuff, I might want to point out. Illy being the official designation. It is at this point, as you're trying to figure out where Merlin ran off to, you see him now standing in a small boat in the middle of a small lake, atop of which swirls a low fog moved by quiet breezes. An arm reaches up out of the water, clutching a beautiful sword that gleams in the dim light. You see Merlin, it looks like he's talking to somebody. You can hear him murmuring, but you can't make out anything. He is crouching, and then he takes the sword almost reverently with both hands. The arm disappears underwater, and Merlin stands, and the boat of its own accord moves slowly to the shore. Merlin comes ashore, the boat moves away into the mist, and Merlin carefully puts the blade beneath his robes. And he's got a big smile on his face, and he says, "Well done, knights. Britain is in your debt. Let us go now." And quickly starts making his way back up the path that led you down this way.
What
Oh,
the fuck?
I would totally ask him if we need to be concerned about wherever that not night thing came from and if it has friends.
So Merlin really doesn't have much in the way of full-on answers. What he will say is, we should be fine as long as we leave here before the dropping of the sun.
Does
And-
he still,
Okay.
does he still have the goat with him?
You know what? That's a fair question. I'm not even prepared to answer that. Let's just pretend he tied the goat off somewhere long before you got down to this particular part of the forest.
Okay, I'm just wondering if some hand in the lake got a goat. That's all I'm wondering.
I would not be surprised at this rate.
That is a fair question. So, that concludes this evening's events. Let's do a little bit of adminning. Who is getting the kill credit for the giant? I know somebody gave the coup de grace, but who wants to take the actual kill credit?
Over the
Or-
table, the kill credit should go to
Sir Dallin?
Yeah.
For what? The ogre?
The giant, yes.
Oh yeah, I
Free
say
ed
that thing's
ogre.
disgusting, and that Dallin can have it.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, it matters because I'm about to issue out some glory. So, for the giant, each of you receives 100 glory. Dallin, you receive an additional 20 glory because of the kill. So you get a total of 120.
an additional 120.
No, just an additional 20 for a total of 120
Okay.
for Dallin. For the... we can assume that Merlin, eventually as you guys got away from that particular stretch of the forest next to the lake and all that, Merlin will explain that what you guys fought was called a Nukalavi. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is basically a centaur, as if the centaur had been created from pond, algae, leafy life bits. And for fighting that creature, you will receive an additional 100 glory, except for the person that receives a kill credit. And who will that be? I don't remember at this point, to be totally honest with you.
Wait, sorry, what was it?
The Nukalavi, I will spell it in Discord chat real quick.
For killing the green slime thingy?
Yeah, the green slime thing. Green slime thing
aside from a
called...
glancing arrow blow, I was the only one to do damage, correct?
Honestly, at this point, my short-term memory gave up. So I'm going to have to let you...
I know that Dallin got hit by the creature.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
their turn.
actually damage it at all.
Okay.
And then Farvel had a glancing blow with an arrow. Did you get another hit on it?
I hit it and just didn't
You did
do a lot of damage.
You did
Who
like
was the
3
one
damage.
that did the... Oh, no,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
Rev
yeah,
that
yeah.
did the 20-something damage that knocked it out, correct?
Yeah,
Or was that
and-
Dallin?
and That was me.
Okay, okay.
That was Everett.
All right, so Everhart receives, for this evening, a total of 220 glory for tonight's session. As
Total.
does...
Okay.
Yeah, this is the grand total for tonight.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Let me back up. I'm sorry. I'm tallying right now. Bear with me, guys, because I just noticed another thing in my notes. We do have one more small scene to do. This is when you guys come back to brief the Earl of your patrol. At some point, at some point along the way, obviously Merlin goes his way. You guys meet back up with your... well, no, you sent your squires and whatnot back to Sarum, correct? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. So eventually you guys make it back to Sarum. Merlin eventually, once leaving the forest, goes his own way. Thanks you for your time. Reminds you again, Britain is in your debt, blah, blah, blah. You are now in the Great Hall of Earl Roderick, and you are currently debriefing from your patrol. I'm curious to know what you guys want to tell him. You can go as into the RP mode as you want, or you can give a quick summary, whichever is convenient for the three of you.
Assuming, due to the whole me go first, most glory, I'm assuming seniority.
I mean, yeah, because obviously the seniority would be the one of the two of you, if there were a
Right.
seniority to assign.
I'm asking if that's a thing or.
Yeah,
Or
we can assume for the moment that
Most glory, so it's not
Yeah.
that big of.
yeah, if one of you had to be chosen as the group leader, it would be Sir Everhart, but that can change on any day.
I'm probably going to leave off the bit about us chasing the goat like an idiot. I'm probably going to recount that we saved what we thought was an old man from a giant, and that Dallin valorously slew the beast, and then say that the old man turned out to be Merlin, who appeared to be using it as some sort of test, and then requested that we follow him on foot. Oh shoot! How long would it take us to get back on foot without our horses? Anyway.
No more. I would say no more than about a day or so.
Okay.
In fact, actually, no. You know what? So you guys would leave the lake at, say, mid-afternoon. Like, by this point, you would have noticed the sun was starting to set. And never mind the fact that you would know that it would take you 8 hours or more on a straight hike. You managed to make it back to Sarum before sunset.
What the fuck?
Enchanted Woods, no doubt. Okay.
Merlin being Merlin.
Uh-huh.
And the GM being the GM.
Right.
That's actually one of Merlin's powers, by the way.
I was gonna say very little difference between Merlin and the GM.
Well, yeah.
So, and then I will recount my slaying of the slime monster.
Yeah, if you want to call it slime monster, that's fine. The Nukalavi is a weird
I
word
call
for me.
it the green slime knight
Okay,
in my notes.
can I get
Yeah, there you go.
Can I get a spelling? Just for my giggle?
I put it in Pendragon General.
Okay, I don't have this.
I think I did. Let me double check that. Yeah, Pendragon General. I put it in there.
So I killed the Nuka Cola.
All right, Fallout, calm down.
See, Pendragon, Penroll. All right. Just doing a little copy paste real quick onto my notes. But yeah, I'll. Would Merlin have told us what it's called, or would have been like, I don't know?
Yeah, he would have. He would have explained all that.
Then I'm gonna say Merlin called it a Nuka-Lavi, and I killed it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna like say I did it alone. I'm gonna be like, with
Would
the
you
assistance.
mention in your debrief your moment of extremely high self-doubt?
Let me look at my traits to make sure.
I was just thinking the same thing. Because I was like, I got him. I wonder what he's going to go with. You have honest 10 and deceitful 10.
Yeah. Well, I also have, I was thinking more towards, it would be pride to cover it up.
Yes.
so
Pride
it would be
and
more-
what's the opposite of proud or pride? What is
It would be
Modesty.
modesty.
modesty? Yep.
So, I will admit to some degree, I'm probably going to still out of a certain level of not wanting to seem like I'm a loose cannon.
Yeah. Leave the part out where you and Farvel fought, but tell him that there was a moment where you were in doubt of your own abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I can live with that. Anything else? From any of you?
That's my report, and then I'm looking to see what the others say.
Yeah, so is the Earl. He's definitely curious. The Earl has been paying attention the whole time. Like, he is captivated almost by the story. He has a bit of a smile on his face. Like, this is not only was this a good patrol for you guys, but clearly this is a great tale to tell. So he's looking at Farvel and Dallin with is there anything else you guys want to add? Sounds like you guys had a hell of a time out there. Or, words to that effect.
I just wave at Farvel, assuming that he gets to go next, seeing I'm the most junior person.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially follow up with that saying something along the lines of how I was only a support, like how I only supported Dallin and Everhard.
Oh, well, support is always necessary, and sometimes is what makes or breaks a campaign. Sir Dallin, do you have anything to add?
No, I would just recount our course of our patrol. I would actually note that our X number of days were quiet, and then it was particularly eventful during this one day.
Mhm.
And mentioned that we were approached by an old goat herd. He mentioned his black goat. We get to the goat, and we hear the goat screaming, and we get to it, and it's being held by a three-eyed giant.
Three
And,
eyes? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going.
I wave to Squire with bag and go head. And I kind of wave it away and go. It explained that something of that size, it made the most sense to manage it with the lance. And if we ever fight one again, arrows are not recommended, as it was to get through the skin.
I was about to say something similar.
All right.
And then we effectively met Merlin and assisted him on a quest to retrieve an object and killed a
What was the object?
slimy knight by a Nuka-Lavi. Did Merlin say we weren't supposed to mention it?
He did not specify anything about saying or not saying.
For
It
a
was a
little bit of
sword.
retconning.
A
Handed
sword.
to him by a pond. It was very unusual.
Indeed, it sounds like it
Hand-
was.
A hand out of the pond. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right, well, thank you.
Also, ow!
Did
I
you hand
managed
it-
to get hit by the creepy monster. And I'm
Did
gonna
you
go
hand it to
check
your
in with
feminine?
the doctor to make sure that doesn't get infected.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I think the Earl will wrap up everything. He'll probably ask a few questions. You guys will answer it however you will. Nothing crucial that we need to discuss. Your grand totals of glory tonight. Talus, you receive a total of 250 glory for tonight's episode.
Wait, I got 100 for the ogre, 100 for.
You got 100 for...
one.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, bear with me. 100 for the giant, 100 for the Nuka-Lavi, and 50 bonus or whatever you want to call it for the entire episode. And then the other two, Dallin and Everhart, you guys receive both 270 glory for this evening. For the killing and murder or whatever of the giant, the killing and the defeat of the Nukalavi, and plus 50 for the overall session.
So 100, 120, and 50 respectively for me.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is all of the content for this evening. Let's go ahead and get some feedback for tonight's episode from my players, starting with whoever wants to go first without starting a fight.
Dibs.
There you go. Sir Farvel, what do you got for us?
I enjoyed it. I liked all the. Oh, I got disconnected.
Yep, that's because I closed the table before you guys could flip it.
Oh, you bastard. On another note, I enjoyed it. I liked all the fighting that was going on tonight, and the Merlin Merlin coming after we retrieved the goat is a very interesting touch. Outside of that, yeah, I had fun. On
Good.
another note, though, oh, never mind.
I'm sorry.
ahead.
I'll wait for my turn.
Actually, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I had fun, but I have a question.
Yes.
Since my character detected that there was something deadgum off and grabbed Merlin, one, knowing his authority, on the trip back, my character would have been, sorry for slinging you. Something didn't seem right about you.
I think Merlin would have brushed it off with something about, occupational hazard. I can't imagine if he's... I would feel like if he had done this before, he'd be like, yeah, I know this might have been one of the possible outcomes.
But that also, I probably would make a comment if it explains how you got away from my squire.
Indeed. He is Merlin is a magician. And under magician is the title illusionist. As you know by now, of course.
Yeah. So, I guess my question becomes, did I actually pick Merlin up?
One may never know. It certainly felt like you did.
Okay, so in this world, would I, like, above the table, do illusions impart weight or merely a visual?
I honestly don't have a good answer for that. I will simply say that for all intents and purposes, as far as anybody may ever be concerned, you definitely physically picked up this old man. The fact that he ended up actually being Merlin may or may not be related.
Okay. Can it be stated for the record then?
I mean, you could add it to the tales that you will tell at feasts that you manhandled Merlin once and managed to survive.
Yeah, I was going to say I picked up Merlin and shook him like a ragdoll.
Yeah, you could say that. Whether or not Merlin makes some sort of counter argument or does something else, or the fact that people will never believe you because Merlin is Merlin, it's a whole nother animal. Rodance, what do you got for us as far as feedback from this evening?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to heal a wound.
Well, I will advise you that the sword was indeed a sword, and that you were indeed smacked with it. So whatever one does to ward off swordly things.
Is a chirurgery needed or I butchered the
Chirurgery?
pronunciation.
No, it was not that scale of an injury.
I didn't think it was. That's why I was just clarifying.
In fact, most likely by our next session, we will have advanced until, or at least after the subsequent Sunday at noon. Which means Dallin's healing rate would have kicked in. Whatever the healing rate is would have, recovered however many hit points that is. And most likely...
at noon every Sunday, apparently.
Yep, noon on Sundays, your natural healing takes in, so you'll recover a little bit of hit points. Somebody would have applied bandages and maybe dumped some boiling wine or something like that on there.
I healed 2 points. I healed 2 points
every week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so worst case, 2 weeks later, probably won't even see a scar after a year. Yeah, I definitely had fun. I did not expect you guys to pull off the let's go ahead and fight this fucking thing. I've started to greatly abbreviate that last little bit, but I'm glad we did it. It did go a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I think we'll be okay because we're going to be wrapping up pretty fast.
Another question about the board because I'm curious. Did you drop his HP pool to speed up the fight?
No.
'Cause that felt really quick.
No, I didn't. I expected that fight to go longer and more deadly because of how much, especially the giant. The giant had like 15 damage reduction, and knowing roughly how much damage you guys could do, I was concerned about the fact that you would not be able to hurt it enough to counter how much it could hurt you.
Yeah,
And
the giant was the thing that was supposed to mess us up. The night afterwards was just the kicker
yeah, the only
to
thing
kick
on
us while we were down.
the night, the reason why you guys won so fast is you just managed to outroll me. The knight was able to fight with both arms, dual wield, and the only thing I forgot to do was split the 16 sword to 8 and 8. But even then, it didn't matter because you guys still outrolled me, and I only managed
Stopped
to.
it on its ass.
In fact, literally in these two big ass fights, the only thing I was able to accomplish was I put a 4-point wound on one character one time. So, I'll have to.
Did the giant only get one round of attack?
I don't think the giant even got a round to attack. Now that I think about it, because you hit it once, and then Rodance critical to charge, and that's what put it on its ass the first time. It just didn't fall asleep, and so when it did get back up, it failed the other check, and so it had to basically disengage. And at that point, he did. By the time, and that's why I said, like, I moved him back to one square, and I said, if he's still alive at the end of this next round, he is going to disengage. He's going to be able to like magically somehow get away from you guys, which would have still been a defeat, which means you guys would have still gotten the glory. You wouldn't have gotten the kill credit, but you would have gotten the credit for defeating the monster. So,
just out of curiosity, if he had aimed for the eye or something, would it still have had that same level of like armor for the skin? Is
I was thinking about aiming for the eye, but I don't.
not according to the stats. I think in the roleplay I may have allowed for, kind of like a called shot where the shot would have been, he would have had a penalty to his dice roll or something. But had he made it, maybe he would have got an extra couple of dice of damage. Or something along those lines. I would have come up with something.
Okay.
Let's do outros before we end up being here all night long. We'll start with Rodance. Outros from you, please.
My character survived fighting a giant. I was not expecting giants.
Okay, so quick question. Now I'm curious. Okay, so you guys are bumping along trying to chase this goat down. What was your guys, as players, what was your reaction when the giant popped up all of a sudden?
I was surprised.
Did anybody expect anything like a giant?
No,
I expected
bandits or
to
something.
be down the well.
Because of my lack of knowledge of the Pendragon lore, I was assuming I knew that there could be magic, but I was assuming less magical creatures that we were encountering. I was expecting more historical enemies, to be fair. Not that it was an unpleasant surprise.
Right. Yeah, no, I was when I prepped this, because this is coming out of the Great Pendragon Campaign, which is a separate book that goes alongside the core book, and it says for this one, it's like it's a giant, it's a 3-eyed giant. There's a picture and everything.
I'm also looking into the campaign materials to avoid pleasant surprises like that.
Yeah. No, I'm just glad that. I'm glad both the giant popping up and then the fact that the old man was Merlin, that I managed to pull those off fairly well. The fact that you guys guessed it was Merlin was a little surprising, but also not unexpected, because I think by that point the cat's kind of out of the bag. But I did interrupt Rodance's outro, so please continue.
I'm sorry.
No, I did it.
My character survived.
Yeah.
He's going to be significantly more paranoid about learning fairy lore.
That's fair. All right. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, Talus, what do you got for us? Introductions.
Nothing.
Okay. And Rev.
Enjoyed the session. Enjoyed the enemies. Wasn't too thrilled about losing an honor point. But I was going to ask, is there any sort of like, due to the whole flub up on my part, is there any chance for a dice roll or a point of hates monsters?
You know, go ahead and put that in there. Hatred of, we'll call it magical creatures, and we'll start at 1. I feel like that's actually. You know what? I know I closed it. If you can roll it in dice rolling chat if you want, we can roll 1d6 on that if you
Okay,
want.
give me just a second because my keyboard just stopped responding.
Of course it did. While you're doing that, let me pose one last question.
I'm rolling a d6 to confirm.
Yes. Let me ask one last question of the group before I go into my own outro.
I'll disappear when your outro goes, by the way.
Yeah. The sword. And there was a question mark at the end of that when I said the sword.
Yeah, what about it?
Technically, in lore, I believe there was actually multiple swords that came out of random bodies of water.
Okay.
Other than the most famous one.
Okay.
It's not an effective system of government.
Yeah, that too.
The sword is not an effective system of government.
Random women in lakes handing out swords is not an effective form of government decision.
No, that I could definitely get behind. Rev, you now have passion, hatred of magical creatures at 2. Talus, would you like to weigh in on this sword that you guys watched Merlin pull out of the lake?
Find it weird, but I was like, alright, whatever.
Okay. All right.
Do
All
I
right.
get to put
Yeah.
Is that just it, or do I get to put a check mark beside it?
You know what? You know what? Yeah, go ahead. No, you are being a little greedy. It's fine, but I will allow a check in hatred, magical creatures.
I mean, what, so I get another +1 at the end of the year if I'm lucky.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah, I think that's everything I got. Thank you, my friends, for stopping by and hanging out. Even if all you did was linger in the shadows, or if you were more active in the chat, or what have you, that's fine too. Tomorrow, I don't know for sure if I will be streaming. I am doing my Traveler 2300 AD meet and greet, hoping that I'm able to put some stuff together to start that show up. And then Thursday, I don't know if I'll be streaming also. Maybe not. But we'll see. And then hopefully by Sunday, we'll be back at it again. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, coming back next week, more Solasta and more Blood and Glory. Everybody's still good for next week, correct?
Yep.
Monday and
So far as
Tuesday?
I know.
All right. I'm going to hold you guys to it, like the devil holds a
No, you
contract.
No, you said
Oh, yeah.
Sunday. Is that-
Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday.
Alright, bye-bye, got things to do.
Yeah, go get out of here.
Enjoyed it.
Yep, get out of here.
You said Sunday, we're back at it, so I wanted to clarify.
Well, I meant specifically on Sunday that I'm back at it. I don't know
Okay.
what's going to happen on Sunday just yet. I'm hoping I can pull something off, but I don't know. But in the meantime, my friends, stay safe out there. The world is a crazy place. Do what you got to do for you and yours, and you could catch us again maybe tomorrow, probably Thursday. Worst case, by Monday next week, you can definitely see us again. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Get out of here. Go home. Enjoy your loved ones, because that's what I'm about to do.